Assalamu alaikum, I'm Makhdoom Shahabuddin and you're watching Trending Daily, where we decode geopolitics beyond the headlines. Tonight, we reveal a disturbing but undeniable truth that Pakistan's internal security challenges are no longer just local. They are a result of a coordinated hybrid war orchestrated by external forces, primarily India, and executed through networks operating from Afghan soil. What we are witnessing is not random terrorism, it's a strategy, a doctrine of deception and destabilization executed with precision and financed with millions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the big picture. Pakistan today faces a multi-front conflict: cyber, psychological, diplomatic, and kinetic, all synchronized under what security experts now call the doctrine of hybrid warfare. At the center of this doctrine are two key pillars. Number one, false flag operations, staged or manipulated terror incidents blamed on Pakistan for political mileage. And number two, state-sponsored terrorism, organized, funded, and facilitated through Afghan territory with groups like the TTP, BLA, and they receive financial funding and logistical backing in millions. According to Pakistan's intelligence assessments, RAW, the India's premier intelligence agency, has created an active terror corridor through Afghanistan, and the recent Islamabad G-11 judicial complex attack claimed by a TTP faction is the latest manifestation of this corridor in action. This isn't speculation. It's supported by backing evidence, intercepted communications, and confessional testimonies. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing history teaches us, it's that every Indian election brings with it a new security crisis. Whether it was Pulwama in 2019, the Uri attacks, or now the heightened rhetoric before the Bihar state elections, there's a clear pattern. Whenever the Modi government faces domestic backlash, a crisis involving Pakistan suddenly emerges. After Pulwama, we all saw how quickly the media turned war hysteria into a political campaign. But now, analysts say that the same playbook is being dusted off again. Recent leaks of an alleged raw psyops and narrative control document reveal detailed plans for staged incidents in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, including planting fake ISI-linked documents near attack sites, deploying AI-generated witness videos, and coordinated 200 social media accounts to spread disinformation globally within minutes. This isn't security, it's storytelling, manufactured nationalism, weaponized to win votes. After the US withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021, the geopolitical chessboard changed dramatically. Pakistan dismantled most of its internal terror infrastructure, but suddenly attacks started surging again. Why? Because the TTP, which had been pushed out, found safe havens and fresh funding across the border. And behind that resurgence lies India. Pakistan's foreign ministry and military intelligence have already presented irrefutable evidence of raw sponsorship of terrorism. The dossier includes banking transactions worth millions of dollars, direct communication between Indian diplomats and wanted terrorists, and proof that Indian consulates near the border have become hubs for terror logistics. Among the key beneficiaries, Fitna al-Khawarij, TTP and its factions, and Fitna al-Hindustan, BLA, Baloch Liberation Army, all operating freely from Afghan soil. The strategy is simple: destabilize Pakistan's internal peace to weaken its global standing. On November 11, 2025, a suicide bomber struck outside the Islamabad district judicial complex, killing 12 and injuring dozens. Within hours, the TTP's Jamaatul Ahrar faction claimed responsibility, using the same language and digital channels seen in raw-linked psy-ops. Pakistan's interior minister later revealed that foreign funding for these militants had tripled in recent months, aligning exactly with the intelligence that RAW had escalated financing through Afghan intermediaries. Coincidentally, this spike in funding and violence coincides with India's pre-election period. Coincidence or calculation. Even more suspiciously, India and Afghan social media accounts began posting cryptic warnings hours before the attack, a psychological tactic to amplify fear and confusion. This is how modern hybrid warfare works, first online, then on ground. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be very clear. This doctrine is not about security. It's about politics. By staging or enabling crises linked to Pakistan, India's ruling party manipulates public opinion, diverts attention from internal failures, and consolidates its domestic vote bank through fear and hatred. The 2019 Pulwama incident delivered a landslide election victory. The 2025 Bihar elections now follow the same pattern, with Pakistan once again framed as the convenient villain. But this time, Pakistan isn't silent. By preemptively exposing these tactics, Islamabad is stripping away the element of surprise and denying India the propaganda it thrives on. And above all, the Afghan regime's inaction against terrorists sheltering on its soil is no longer just negligence. It's a geopolitical trade-off. India is offering financial and diplomatic incentives to the Afghan government in exchange for strategic non-interference, allowing the Fitna al-Khawarij TTP to operate freely as a proxy. This new arrangement, a quid pro quo of regional destabilization, turns Afghanistan into a launchpad for Indian-sponsored terrorism against Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, before moving forward, let's see what the people of Pakistan have to say about this new wave of terrorism in Pakistan, originating from Afghan soil and funded by India.
हमारा एक इशू चल रहा है of Pakistan and again the war on terrorism. We've been fighting since the back of Pervez Musharraf. I think it is the time that we do really need a perfect solution for this. Since the talks are not being mediated by the Afghan, again, I think it is time that we do take action. Nothing is more sacred to me than my motherland.
तीन जगह पे जो है ना हो गया है, G-11 में जैसे हुआ है, DI खान में हो गया है और जो कैडेट कॉलेज में हुआ है. अगर इसके बैकग्राउंड में जाएं तो इंडिया तो इन्वॉल्व है ही है इसमें. ऑब्वियसली पाकिस्तान भी इसमें जो है ना वो जवाब भी देगा, और जैसे न्यूज़ आ भी रही है, बैकग्राउंड पे वर्किंग भी हो रही है, तो जल्दी इंशाल्लाह हमारी तरफ से भी जवाब जो है ना आ जाएगा इंडिया पे. पाकिस्तान के साथ हैं, पाकिस्तान की अफवाज के साथ हैं. हम भी यही एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि जो है ना एज सून एज पॉसिबल हमारा जो है ना पाकिस्तानी आर्मी की तरफ से इंडिया को जवाब जाना चाहिए.
हमें उनको जो है उनसे ज़्यादा सख्त जवाब देना चाहिए. वाना में जो हमारे बेचारे फौजी सिपाही मरते हैं, मेजर अदनान जो शहीद हुए, वाना कांस्टेबलरी का वो था स्कूल, उसके ऊपर जो शहादत हुई. भी रिसेंट अटैक है कल का जो हमारे G-11 में हुआ. आई थिंक दे शुड हैव टू टेक सीरियस मेजर्स अगेंस्ट देम एंड उनको मेरे ख्याल से अफगानिस्तान में घुस के जो है इनको मारना चाहिए और इनको ख़त्म करना चाहिए, ताकि एक पीसफुल माशरा जो है अपने लोगों को दे सके.
अपने मुल्क के साथ ही खड़े होंगे. ये हमारा वतन है, हमारी मिट्टी है, हमारे लोग हैं, यहाँ हमारे बहनें भाई सब रहते हैं. जो फोर्सेस है हमारे वो हमसे हैं और हम उनसे हैं. हम उनके साथ ही खड़े हैं और अपनी मिट्टी की दिफा करें.
Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan's security agencies have already recalibrated their posture. The focus now is anticipatory counter-terrorism, not reactionary, particularly around India's election cycles where hybrid operations intensify. On the diplomatic front, Pakistan plans to share its dossier of evidence, including financial trails and communication intercepts, with the United Nations, the UN Security Council's P5, and international watchdogs monitoring terror financing. Simultaneously, a renewed diplomatic engagement with Turkey, Qatar, and China aims to build a regional firewall against Indian subversion through Afghanistan. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are witnessing today is not just a clash of nations. It's a clash of narratives. On one side, Pakistan exposing evidence, demanding accountability, and fighting a hybrid war it never started. On the other hand, India weaponizing propaganda, manipulating fear, and outsourcing terrorism for politics. But truth, even in a world of disinformation, truth still has power. Because while lies can trend, only facts can stand the test of time. I'm Makhdoom Shahabuddin, and this was Trending Daily, where we expose the hybrid wars shaping our region and decode the truth before it's rewritten.